name is Jennifer Montone and I'm the principal horn of the Philadelphia Orchestra. Thanks so much for watching this video on jaw injuries. When I was in the St. Louis Symphony in 2004, a long time ago now, I had a car accident where my sister and I were driving, and she was driving, I was in the passenger seat. I had my feet up on the dashboard, which is a really bad habit I used to have, and my mom always would tell me to stop, and after that I never did again because what happened was we got hit from behind in stop and go traffic. It wasn't even a big car accident at all, but I happened to be talking to my sister this way, my jaw slid, and my feet then on the dashboard made my back kind of go out. My discs, started slipping, and the combination of the back and the jaw, everything, created a really destabilized situation, especially for my face. So this was an injury I ended up dealing with for multiple years at the end of my time in St. Louis, and as I started my time in the Philadelphia Orchestra, and it was fascinating and very hard. And I now hear from a lot of people about jaw issues that they have, but usually not relating to car accidents, usually relating to TMJ issues and tense muscles of the face and overplaying and sometimes over engaging muscles and things like that. And so I thought it would be worth making a video just about the topic of jaw pain and injuries, because I learned a ton about it through recovering from that particular injury. And there's a lot of things we can do to help with that particular topic. The body workers that I used for this particular recovery were all through basically an orofacial specialist named Clayton Skaggs. He runs a health group in St. Louis, Missouri. I think he might be retired or retiring soon, but it basically, you can find people who work with the hockey team in your area, or any oral facial specialist, or anyone who does TMJ can kind of point you in the right direction for this. He taught me a whole bunch of exercises, and of course I worked with him for about a year and a half before I left and came to Philly. He would do this in our sessions, but you can do this yourself. He said it's fine to do them at home. So on the roof of your mouth, and then you can strengthen your masseter muscle by slowly opening and closing your jaw. What we did was we first started with just a slow opening and closing. As I progressed over a couple months, he would have me hold it open for 5 seconds. A couple months later, he'd hold it open for 10 seconds and then close it, things like that. You can make natural progressions with how it feels. Similarly, so the masseter muscle is the muscle that comes down from the jaw. It's like a strap, and you can massage the sides of your lower cheeks. If you play low and it's feeling achy, that's the muscle that's probably getting engaged and not liking how it feels. And that is very related to the muscles in the neck. So there's, just any neck stretches you can find in yoga, anything where, any of these types of stretches, and, even neck rolls, this type of thing. I tend to do a lot of yoga, and the cat-cow stretch. There's a face yoga. When you're doing the cow, you can pretend to be, as I tell my kids, the scared cow, and then the angry cat. Just doing it slowly, or then holding that position, and that opens up and stretches different parts of your face. Donna Eden has some nice tapping and energy body work that's great for the head and neck and chest region. So you can do that as well. Her stuff is always really therapeutic for me. It's a great thing sometimes to do some of these PT exercises, then do a little bit of yoga, and then finish with the Donna Eden, energy work to kind of send yourself out the door. You can have a 15-minute session of just doing those 3 things, and then I feel like my body always feels really good and ready to play. And I still do that now, even though this jaw injury is way in the past. When I was working with Dr. Skaggs, another thing he had me do was so the top muscle up here is called the temporalis muscle. It's like a tree that is going out on either side of your scalp, and you can grab your hair and you can pull it up and open your mouth. And when I was playing high and especially stopped horn or muted horn, anything that was resistant like that, I would have sharp shooting pains going up my temporalis muscles, and that was scary. I thought I was going to have a brain aneurysm, and I was like, no, it's just my muscle saying ouch, I don't like that. So I took a good 8 months off from playing for this particular injury, which was pretty epic to take that much time off in the middle of sort of a, like a professional career type of thing. And then I worked back very, very slowly to playing after that, which I'll tell you about that practice method in a minute. But basically just like rubbing in all those little parts of your, your head that you can feel, actually the muscle underneath the bone. Now the other two muscles in play on your face that tend to be relevant to horn are the lateral and medial pterygoids, and they're kind of like an L or a T here in the middle of your face, and you can rub those too. There's kind of a place here where you can feel sensations of achiness when you run your hands down your face. So basically, like anything like this, you can do it with lotion if that feels nice. Basically, all of that can help the face relax. And again, with anything medical, it's always better with a doctor. It's always better with a therapist. You don't want to do too much on your own, but you can do a little as you're waiting for the appointment to happen and in between, and to augment what they say to do and to connect with the playing aspect of things. Basically, we need the head and the neck and the shoulders to be as relaxed as possible. So again, any kind of like yoga, that would be this kind of up, anything that's back, and anything that's like the child's pose type of rounded type of back things, arched back type of things, and things that extend your arms in different ways to stretch out your shoulders. All of those are really, really helpful for keeping the jaw nice and relaxed. So the interconnection between all of those muscle groups are pretty amazing, and I'm sure you know that just from your own experiences as well. Always good not to overlook that particular part of things. Then, so when I was coming back to the horn, I worked with a wonderful neurologist named Richard Lederman, who has since retired from the Cleveland Clinic, and he helped me with an incredibly slow, brutally slow recovery pace, which then ended up being the smartest thing ever, and has also become sort of the basis of some of my teaching for the rest of my career, which I thank him for all the time, because what it did was he basically had me stop playing altogether for like 4 months, I'd say. And I kept trying to come back to the orchestra, and then it was like, ouch, that hurt. Come back to the orchestra. No, that, I was like, that's not working. And I was like, okay, just stop then. So I stopped for 4 months, and then he had put on some electrodes onto my body and had me play, and he noticed where where everything lit up more, and it was everything that wasn't between middle C and middle G. And if it got louder than piano, something would light up. So that became the baseline of, okay, between C and G, that you can do. And he noticed that after 5 minutes of doing that, everything would light up no matter what, even if it was just that. So, okay, 5 minutes. So without a neurologist or without, this particular test, the electrodes thing, you can also maybe test it yourself to see, like, okay, where is my benchmark? What parts of the horn, what dynamics, and what types of playing? For me, it also was slurred. So whenever I used my tongue, that would add more activation, and that became a not yet topic. So I started just with the basic, long tones, Caruso 6 notes, a lot of air attacks, and all slurs. That type of thing. And I would do 5 minutes a day and then stop. And honestly, at that point, I was so upset and frustrated by all of this that then I would go and cry a little bit. But it was like, but it also was an opportunity for me to remember, or be taught maybe for the first time, really, that my self-worth is not completely wrapped up in just playing the French horn. So, which is a side topic that maybe is relevant for some of you guys. But it was kind of news to me at the time. Again, I was just starting my career, and it was like I was all wrapped up in all of that. And so taking a break, being forced to take a break for something physical that was happening that I didn't understand, felt very scary, very frustrating, and very destabilizing emotionally. So if you're feeling that way, you are so not alone. And happy to chat through any of that if you ever experience anything like this, physically or mentally, relating to injuries and things, because it really is a topic and it's a real thing. The slowdown was helpful mentally for me, and it also made me think about, okay, what is it about horn playing? So for those couple weeks where I just played the 5 minutes a day between middle C and middle G, what are the aspects of horn playing, right, that we need to do what we do? It's like a healthy breath that is easy and fluid, right? So I did a lot of breathing exercises. I did a lot of breath builder and breathing bags. I did a little bit of breathing gym from Sam Palafian. The breathing bag and breath builder is, of course, Arnold Jacobs tools. I did a little bit of Wim Hof breathing. That was just starting to be out there in the world around then. That might have been a little later, actually, that I was aware of that. But basically, all of these breathing tools can be very helpful. What are the types of air we can use? We can use soft and easy air. We can use kind of more fast air that's got more spin. As I started getting louder, I thought about spin as opposed to efforting. You can have deep and dark air that's better for low, as I started rebuilding my low register and trying to not get the masseter to hurt. I noticed that the inhales that I took, the more I matched what I wanted with the sound, with the inhale that I was taking, as opposed to with the effort my physical body gave it. That the better the musical thing worked, whatever style it was, whatever sound I was going for, and also the more relaxed my whole body stayed. I'm someone who physicalizes what they want, and I had to work with that desire rather than working against it. So you can do like a finger breath that kind of does that, so that's kind of a loud one, right? You can also do a silent one, which is a more relaxed one. You can do one that's kind of high, that you feel colder air on your hand, right? You can also do Darth Vader type of one that the air is very hot and it covers your whole hand. There's lots of different ways of breathing and therefore blowing, and all of that translates into what our sound is going to be. And then when you actually add your tongue, you can actually also then add different types of tonguing and different types of articulation. Again, when you're talking jaw pain, if your tongue is overacting, did you know your tongue is your smartest muscle? It has the most capability. That's why it's our most creative muscle. And so the type of thing of how we speak, how we enunciate things, like, I love you, are you okay? Or like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, I can't believe this is happening. Or, I don't understand, why do you always do that? Right? Your tongue acts very differently. If you think about it, your tongue just did a whole bunch of different things, and so did your air, and so did the emotion that came out of you. And therefore, you're playing, you can actually use all of those things also. It's like an incredibly creative tool, but also you don't have to, when you're playing loud, you don't have to like force really hard. You can just, You can put fast air and a fast tongue and a flick and a tennis racket swing with a lot of follow through, and that'll get you your exciting loud without having to do that with your tongue or your air, right? Which keeps your physicality relaxed and you're kind of optimizing what you want. So it's worth giving some thought if you're having jaw pain, kind of how do I simplify the physical stuff that might be related to tension that I might be unwittingly bringing to my playing, and also how can I optimize what it is with the air and the tongue and the even the subdivision. So these are all musical things you can try when you're recovering from or dealing with any kind of jaw pain. It's a combination and a very sort of fluid and movable state of considering both how do I play and is it the healthiest way that I possibly can? What do I do before I play? How can I make my body be very relaxed? What can I do when I'm off the horn to kind of stretch out and help these muscles? I also ended up, taking some pain medicine that was given to me by doctors over the course of time. I was on Celebrex for a while and other nerve pain type of medicines for a while. But again, that's related to what your doctor tells you. And then also, just what the medical community and the physical therapy and body workers, how they can help you with that. Incidentally, also in the bodywork category, I did a lot of massage and there was Thai yoga, which was very helpful. There's also craniosacral. I don't know if you know this, but your jaw and your hips are all on the same type of rotators. And so actually, if your hips are tight, your jaw will also be tight. So things like rollerblading or doing lots of hip exercises can be helpful for releasing the tension of the jaw. All of these things being kind of body interconnected is fascinating and helpful when you're dealing with jaw pain. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and best of luck with everything, and happy to chat if you ever need. Thanks again.